Hello everyone, welcome to weekly SIG meeting for SIG Autoscaling for Monday the 16th of December 2024. Got a couple of items already on the agenda, albeit I don't see Marco on the call. So might need to make a start with you, Max.
Hi everyone. I want to discuss this issue here that is allowing the VPA admission controller to reload the webhook CA bundle. Basically, there's this feature already in the VPA, which is called, I guess there's like a flag where you can specify reload cert. And if it's true, it's gonna whenever you enable the self-registration feature for the webhook controller, it's going to reload the cert whenever it changes, so you don't have to manually do it. So my PR is an extension so that it also reloads the CA cert as well, and then it's going to patch the webhook so you don't have to restart pod. But there was a bit of pushback by Volsmo. Basically said that it's sort of a hacky feature already, so we don't really want to extend the hackiness on it. So I was just wondering if either we want to merge it now because I think it's ready to go, or we want to close it and have basically make you handle it yourself, because I think if you use Cert Manager or something, you can just disable the entire feature itself and manage yourself. So I just want to figure out what people think.
So I'm for adding that feature. Well, sorry, I'm for extending the feature because it already exists, which I did say on the comment. I think we also don't give users a good way to create this webhook other ways. So other projects have Helm charts or whatever. We just don't do that. And so I feel like unless we want to adopt something like Helm or give a production ready way to create the webhook, I'm happy to extend this for now. I see Ray's on the call, and I know Ray's very involved with the VPA as well, and I'm curious if he has any opinions on it.
Yeah, I was just taking a look because this is one PR I haven't quite taken a look at. So let me take an AI and read through the comments there and see if we can push this along. I'd love to understand Marco's view on here, but he's not here. So yeah, let's maybe take this one offline, or Adrian, if you know.
So Marco's left comments on the pull request about what he's against. And I think there's additional context. There's an additional pull request to allow users to add annotations to the webhook. And the use case for that was to allow Cert Manager to then, I think if you add the Cert Manager annotations to webhook, Cert Manager will then go and update the certificate. And I feel as though this feature of being able to let VPA reload the certs solves that problem as well. And so it kind of, if we add this ability to reload the CA, in theory, we're kind of done with that feature of webhook registration. I don't think there's other use cases that may crop up that'll have to cause us to extend it. So I like it because it solves, I think, two problems. I do agree it's something we probably shouldn't have, but the feature exists. That ship has sailed, so I'm happy to extend it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, let me take a look. Max, I'll take a look today and see what's going on, and might reach out to Marco, just make sure he's good with it, and then we can push this through. I think, like, just taking a quick glance at the PR, like, I can see a lot of great work there. So it would be a bit of a shame to throw that away, I think. Yeah, let me take a look, and we'll see where we can take this.
All right, thanks,
So,
guys.
Adrian, oh, sorry, Max. Adrian, could you clarify about the the annotations. So it seems to me that if we were to discard this work and go down that path, that we're basically introducing a dependency on the cert manager that doesn't exist today. If we expect people only to do it that way, whereas if we were to kind of use both approaches, then we support whichever approach the cluster admin chooses. Are the two approaches incompatible with each other, or could you have both?
I think you could have both. So I haven't used the feature in Cert Manager myself, but my understanding is if you add the Cert Manager annotation, Cert Manager will then modify the actual webhook on your behalf. I'm not too sure if it ever rotates the CA bundle, the actual CA. I think it's just the cert and the private key. I'm not 100% sure. So it will allow the feature would allow users to add annotations, which will then allow them to use Cert Manager. The pull request that we're talking about at the moment, the VPA watches the certificate and the private key, and if those two things change, it'll then modify the webhook, and then actually no, it'll just reload. I don't think it has to modify the webhook. I could be wrong there. But with this feature, any part of the cert, if it updates, the VPA will just do its thing. Which means I think if a user has a cert manager generated certificate, and cert manager is rotating that certificate, the actual Kubernetes, I think VPA will continue with this feature, will continue to do the right thing. So it'll allow users to use it, I think, we should probably confirm this, but it'll allow users to use Cert Manager and manage the webhook, as opposed to giving them the ability to add annotations as well. Does that make sense? I haven't actually tested and confirmed all of this stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Max, is this something? Yeah, I was going to ask. Like, Max, have you tested this?
I mean, my particular use case does not use Cert Manager at all, so I have not used it with Cert Manager. But I mean, I've tested the PR regularly by like deleting the config map that contains the CA cert and testing if it reloads and does all that. So using it with Cert Manager, I actually haven't checked.
Okay, so we should probably do that, right, Adrian, before we merge this, just to make sure we're not breaking anything.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't think anything will be broken, but I guess we should test this to ensure that we're solving the other users feature of the other pull request, which has annotations. If we can solve that for them with the reload feature, we're good to go.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just make a note on the PR saying that we should confirm that.
Awesome. Thanks. Still
Thanks, guys.
Marco, so Bartek.
Yeah, so as we were discussing, I think last week, this week I'm going to create a branch for 132 release for Cluster Autoscaler. I'm waiting with creating it until the DRA changes are hopefully merged, as we don't really want to cherry pick them afterwards. So just a public announcement that if you want your changes to be included in Cluster Autoscaler 132, then it would be best to merge them quickly this week. And yeah, I think that's it.
And I'll just jump on that train. Same PSA for VPA side as well. I'm hoping to cut this week, but I think we can hold off just given the holiday season and so on. It probably is okay to slip into January a bit, but please ping me on Slack or leave a note in the meeting notes if you need a PR to be part of this. Like this CA one, for example, let's see if we can get that in just to get kind of up to date.
Awesome. Thanks both. that's all we had on the agenda. Is there anything else anyone wants to raise?
Max had another item nested within his item.
Yeah, I'll highlight it if that makes it easier.
Sure. Yeah.
So basically, there was this bug that was opened a long time ago, where basically if you rename or remove a container that has a VPA connected to it, there will be stale recommendations or aggregates as well. Aggregates are like I guess the recommendations that are in memory, basically, I guess. There'll be stale aggregates / recommendations in the VPA if you rename or remove containers, and the VPA will keep the aggregates forever. And hence in the VPA object related to the container or the entire pod, it's going to keep showing that recommendation until I guess the VPA gets deleted. So this would affect users such that, let's say you removed a container or renamed container, it's going to split resources, it's going to split resources across all the containers. So there's cases where, let's say you have like 4 new containers and the resources are split across all of them, and you rename one, suddenly they're split against 5, and then one container might not have enough resources to actually work, and then it fails, and it'll be bad. So this is basically a fix to remove the stale aggregates. And I was wondering if I could get some feedback on, I guess, the implementation on it. I know, Adrian, you've taken a look at it, but there's some extra implementation details I'd add at the end, because you caught that, if you have cron jobs, they're supposed to be deleted. So if we prune those too soon, the recommendation is not going to stay for the next cycle of the job, and it's not going to the job is not going to be updated with the correct resources. So I added this thing called pruning grace period, where you specify, I guess, a grace period for when the recommendation is going to be removed. And yeah, I just wanted to see what people think about that, and I'll open to suggestions. Let me know if that doesn't make sense.
Max, can you quickly just talk about how it's splitting the resources? Like I thought that the containers would kind of all be treated separately, and this is just effectively like an orphaned recommendation, but it wouldn't have influence on other recommendations happening. Can you just explain the relationship there?
Yeah, I think what happens is that if you have 5 containers in your pod, the VPA is going to split all the resources equally. I think that's what happens. So if you just add another container in there, it's going to, divide all the recommendations by 6 now instead of 5. Is that
maybe I can try to explain it as well. Yeah, there are mean resource recommendation flags which are on pod level, and this is actually the recommendations that are being split. Yeah, these flags have some default value, and yeah, the splitting happens there. I can try to link it in the chat, the splitting parts.
Okay, thanks, Ismail.
So it's the min recommendation gets split across the containers in the pod, but the real recommendation, I guess, works correctly. Is that right? If we're not at min,
no, actually not, because the way it is implemented, I think it's an estimator, and it will modify. Okay, it's about min values. So if the recommendation is below the mean value, it will use the mean value. But
Gotcha.
otherwise,
Okay.
it won't affect the other recommendations.
Cool.
So yeah, so it's only about capping to mean, as far as I know.
But I thought the min was per container, or is this a different flag?
A pod. It's like, I mean, Ismail has actually been working on that for a max, so he's probably the current expert on that.
Yeah, right. So the mean is the current mean, which is in the master branch, is per container, per pod level. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's why it's been split. So I think each container gets its portion to make the entire pod the min.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I don't have too much context because I've taken over this VR from John, but I think Ishmael is.
Okay, yeah, we can take a look at that too. Thanks for pointing that out, Max.
Awesome, thanks. Is there anything else anyone wants to raise then? I shall take that as a no. Aware of festive period approaching, I think probably skip the next couple of weeks. So see you all in January would be my thinking. If there's anything urgent before then, SIG Slack channel I think is the best place to reach out. But otherwise, for all those celebrating, hope you have a good Christmas and New Year.
Can you stick the date of the next meeting on the agenda? Just
yes.
I feel like I might on a Monday accidentally join, and that'll be a good reminder.
Okay, will do. Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. See you all then. Thanks.
Thank you.